I'm excited. Y'all ready for the planetary forecast? I'm waiting for this to get ready. All right, so let's get started. Usually when I do the planetary forecast, what I like to do is I like to start off with Cancer season, which is where we're in now. So happy Cancer season and happy July, everybody. Woo-hoo. Get ready to start crying. So what I like to do when I do the planetary forecast is I go over the overall season of the year, and it's okay if this is not your natal chart sun sign. That's not exactly how it works. Despite what your personal sun sign is, we are all under the same sun. So we're going to go over the energy that the sun is giving off. In addition to that, we're going to go over the energy that the other planets are going off. And we have quite a few meteor showers. So that's pretty exciting. So let's get started. I want to start with the Kabbalah. So just to give you guys a gist, just a little excerpt that I read off of a website as far as how the Kabbalah goes about zodiac energy. And we do not study astrology so that we can learn how to draw upon people's horoscopes. On the contrary, the purpose of Kabbalistic astrology is to rise above the influences of the cosmos and to take control over our own lives. So, the whole point of learning about your planetary placements is not for you to hold on to these energies, but it's so that you can learn about the tools that you have within yourself and around yourself to get to navigate through this life. The zodiac sign in which we are born transmits to us all the negative and positive traits that we will need to affect our own transformation. However, the signs of the zodiac are not the cause of our personality traits, they're actually the effect. So, our karma from previous lives actually determine which sign we need to be born under in order to acquire the necessary traits and attributes that will allow us to correct and transform previous negativity into this life. The zodiac is merely the mechanism that the soul uses to ensure that particular qualities are infused into it at birth. Also, the patriarch Abraham was the first Kabbalistic astrologer about 3,800 years ago. He wrote a book called Sefer Yetzirah, which is the book of formation, and it contained all the secrets of the universe, including the knowledge of astrology and cosmology, if you guys want to check that out. We also delve into Kabbalistic astrology. One difference between it and conventional astrology is Kabbalistic astrology actually uses different calendars. Conventional astrology is based on the Gregorian calendar, and then Kabbalistic astrology is based on the Hebrew calendar, which I prefer because it takes into account the positions of the sun and the moon, and that's always fun. Um, so yeah, I want to get into Cancer energy as far as the Kabbalah goes, and that is Tammuz. And this is one of the three negative months of the year: Tevet, Tammuz, and Av. In Tevet, the siege of Jerusalem began, and Tammuz, the walls around Jerusalem were penetrated, and in Av, the destruction of the both holy temples in Jerusalem took place. The Kabbalah teaches us that the course of history inspires the rest of the cyclical energy processes of the year rather than because of physical events. So, therefore, by looking at the time at which each moment in history occurs, we can better understand why it happened. So, when you get into history, like a little fun thing to do will probably be to like go back and look at all the historical events that happened in the Jews of the years during this zodiac season, and just getting into recognition of where the planetary placements was, and that brings a better understanding to the different events that occurred. Make sense to you? Tammuz is controlled by the moon. There are seven planets in the Kabbalistic astrology that is based upon seven planets. I'm sorry, and that's the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. Each planet controls two signs, except for the Sun, which controls only which is Leo, and the Moon, which controls only Cancer, which is Tammuz. Um, Because the sun and the moon control one sign each, an unbalanced situation is created in these months. This imbalance causes the crab, which is the symbol for the month of Tammuz, to walk sideways rather than forward and backward. Okay, that makes sense. This also gives the month of Tammuz the opening for Cancer to begin, and it is the only month that is named after a disease. On the 17th day of Tammuz, Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the tablets, bringing to the world the power and energy of immortality. However, the Israelites and the mixed multitude were waited impatiently for Moses to come down from the mountain and built a golden calf, the sight which caused Moses to shatter the tablets. And this moment was marked by the clashing of two energies, the power of immortality and chaos with suffering, depression, and death. And it's also said that those tablets were actually the 48 laws, and then we broke them down, and now we only have 11 commandments. The historical fact that the walls were broken on the 17th day of Tammuz was simply a manifestation of the incompatibility between the potential of the spiritual vessel and the reality of desire to receive for oneself alone. If we do not make an effort to love our neighbor as ourselves, we're essentially choosing the golden calf. And similarly, we cause our own walls to break down and begin destruction in various aspects of our lives. Sartan in Aramaic, which means cancer in English, is made up of two parts. Sar, which means to remove and clean all negativity, and Tan, which is chaos, hatred, animosity, and any aspect of negativity. The power of the month of Cancer is to remove any problems or negative situations in our lives that might cause this disease to come into our lives. According to the Book of Formation by Abraham the Patriarch, the month of Cancer was created by the Hebrew letters Chet, which created Tammuz, and Tav, which created the moon. The moon is unlike any other celestial body, as it changes its position each day, but remains. Where'd I go? But remains visible nonetheless. It begins each lunar month as a thin scythe and reaches its fullest brightness on the 15th. From the moment that the 15th day is over, the light of the moon begins to wane, and this cycle repeats itself each month. This explains the Cancerians' high sensitivity. They seem to need more love than any other sign. The moon's waning causes them to feel that there is always something missing, and this leads to depression. And the cure for these low moments is caring, sharing, loving, and giving to others. In addition, Cancerians must do their best to let go of the past and see beyond ill feelings and wounds. This is the only way for them to truly find happiness and love. Cancerians are very domestic people. Their motto is "My house is my fortress," and they are strongly connected to family and home. They love history and archaeology, anything that reminds them of their past, and they have a sensitive stomach, as this is the part of the body that they hold their tension and unresolved human emotions. So that's the Cancer energy from a Kabbalah sense, which was very insightful. I did not know that Cancer was associated with imbalance, as the sun and the moon only rule one sign, which makes a lot of sense as far as the sun ruling Leo energy and Leos being how they are. Um, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And as much as I read this, because I've been doing this for about 3 years now, I still be coming across things that I paid attention to before, but maybe it didn't stick until the next year, and now, so on and so forth. It's like a little pattern thing that goes on with me. So, Cancer energy is a water sign. It rules over the fourth house. It's ruled by the moon. This year the dates were a little different. The sun entered Cancer energy on June 20th at 11:32 p.m. So between June 19th to 21st is usually around the time that the sun will enter Cancer energy. Crabs are capable of walking sideways. This is controlled by all the phases of the moon, which is why their moods change so often and they're easily hurt by others. Crabs are capable of walking sideways. Like the crab, the people born under this sign easily adapt and move accordingly. This is also considered the sign of the prophet or teacher. It is a sign of enlightenment. Cancers also tend to hide in their shells when they need to. This does have an effect on their crabby moods, making it difficult to reach their innermost feelings, and cancers will come out on their own time. So those are just like random notes as far as like mainstream like Cancer energy. The sign of the crab is introverted, intuitive energy. Cancers tend to hide in their shells and it makes them appear crabby or detached. It also makes it difficult to reach their innermost feelings. They come out on their own. They like to get everything done in their own way. They're very protective, strong willed, family oriented, feel very deeply, sensitive, and they're great money makers. The moon rules your instincts and intuition, your emotions and reactions. It also rules your feminine energy and how one reacts with feminine energy. And it represents our security, our deepest needs, basic habits, past karma, upbringing, both our inner child and mother. And it shows how we respond to our environment emotionally. And this is also associated with the High Priestess card. This is a good time around this time to really get in tune with your feminine energy. And this goes to my men as well. Get in tune with your feminine energy. If when we have men that are not in tune with their feminine energy and they do a lot to push that energy away, it kind of makes their interaction with other people's feminine energy not that great. You'll have men that are try to put masculinity into everything, even their romantic relationships, and that's not what we finna do. So this is a great time to work on your feminine energy. This is a great time to reflect on how you've been interacting with the feminine energy in others and getting into with like creating nurturing events during this time, um nurturing environments during this time. I know just like on some above below, what we have always done is in the month of June, that's usually we start getting ready for family reunions. The month of June is just a beautiful nurturing month period. We had, a lot of different celestial events going on. In addition to that, we have Father's Day, we have Grandparents' Day, we came out of Mother's Day. And then we have, our multitude of days where we just celebrate each other. And so it does, tend to be a very nurturing month already in itself. But just being aware, we can make it even more so, right? The cardinal Cancer energy is a cardinal energy, and these are our idea people. This kickstart a new season, trendsetters, self motivated, ambitious, and active. So if you guys have been feeling you guys may have lost some focus. A lot of people have been losing focus coming out of that Gemini energy, and of being just everywhere and doing everything, and then to come into this energy that like requires like a lot of focus. To go from that to this was like a really big transition for a lot of us. So during that transition of the planets and the sun, you may have been tired. Your focus may have been just everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It may have been difficult, to concentrate and stuff like that. And all of that is regular. This is also water energy, which deals with sensuality and sensitivity, artistic and intuitive natures, culture. Other water signs are also Pisces and Scorpio. I believe Scorpio is air energy though. Attractive and romantic. The High Priestess card. I always get Scorpio mixed up. I don't know why I want Scorpio to just be whatever I need it to be. It's because of how they move. The High Priestess card. Upright. You trust your intuition and don't take things for face value. You take time to see things from all aspects and look for the answers to your questions within and use logic less. And that's a really good balance to come into coming out of Gemini season, where Gemini season is just like always like skidding the surface of things because you want to touch so many different things at once. You know what I'm saying? So we're coming back down from that. If you are experiencing imbalance in this water energy, the High Priestess card in reverse is everything is out in the open. All the facts of the matter are out and revealed. And you should be able to make your decision now and find the answers to your questions using both logic and intuition. So definitely tap into this Cancer energy to make some decisions in your life. The Chariot card is a card upright, is a triumphant victory in life that was a challenge to win is being has been won. And even though you are facing many obstacles, you have a feeling that you are doing the right thing. And if you're dealing with an imbalance in this time, this card in reversal, at this time, refrain from putting any more pressure to the situation concerned. If you do, you risk pushing people or circumstances over the limit and failing. So if there's something that's been pressing, you feel like you've been pressing back too hard, just be mindful of that. You don't want to get stuck in that. Suit of Cups. because cups is associated with water energy. The suit of cups is connected with love, emotions, intuition. The people of these cards are kind, loving, nourishing, deeply emotional, and empathetic. A lot of blues, purples, and silvers, as well as soft fabrics. Monday is also associated with this day, as Lunes is the day of the moon, which is associated with Cancer. Which is the day of moon. It's the day of spirituality, intuition, emotions, dreams, peace, meditation. Aquamarine, labradorite, moonstone, sapphire, and selenite, silver, good stone. So basically, like that aqua color, that green blue combination of the heart and throat chakra. You definitely want to tap into those kind of stones. Definitely want to tap into your like silver stones. I mean, silver metals like silver, aluminum. Um, it's another one. Give me a second. Silver, aluminum, and steel. Those good stones for intuition, thought, going inward, so on and so forth. Definitely a good time. And just like, as above is so below, these corporations, because a lot of us don't know where to direct our energy towards. We have to direct our energy towards these corporations. These corporations, they have put forth a trend to kind of dwell on Mondays. We don't like Mondays. We hate Mondays, whatever. But Monday is the day that you're actually supposed to be going inward and feeling yourself, getting in tune with yourself, learning yourself. You're supposed to be getting in contact with the moon, getting in contact with your emotional self. So the fact that we start the work week on a Monday, start the school week on a Monday, on a day that's actually supposed to be for self-rest and self-love and self-care, is very intentional. We have to start holding these corporations accountable once we realize what's being done. Because these people are not ignorant to psychological warfare. These people are not ignorant to their psychological tactics the way we have been, from somebody who comes from a psych background. They know what the fuck they're doing. And that's my TED talk for that. So coming into like the colors during this time, white, which is color of purity, friendship, clarity, mourning, spiritual truth, innocence, and perfection. Violet, which is the color of justice and judgment, royalty and industry, age, wisdom, insight, and transformation. Green, which is the color of growth, hope, and fertility. Yellow, the color of happiness. Silver, the color that's glamorous, sophisticated, wealth, and elegance. Coming back to this sign, zodiac energy, is associated with the fourth house, and the fourth house is associated with home and family. If you have natal planets in this house, this reveals your relationship with maternal figures and outlook on being domestic. And if you guys are interested in having your natal chart read, I do natal chart readings. We can talk about that. You can message me. Planets move through here encourage us to invest in our infrastructure by creating more private and nurturing spaces, which is something that we usually do around this time. Cancer energy is also associated with the number 2, which deals with reflection, polarity, duality, cooperation, harmony, feminine energy, wealth, marriage, the sphere of creation and manifestation in response to the will of God when you get into the netters. What else do I have for you? So yeah, let's get into the Metu Netter. So this book I read every season for y'all. I really love this book. And so I'm gonna read it for y'all now. Place and time for all things. So I want to get to the, hold on. I just did what I wanted to do. Okay, so the southeast around 9 a.m. to noon is where the most spiritual time is, and this is from May 5th to June 21st. We're dealing with Heru, and Heru deals with arriving at a transitional point, which is considered a crossroad. You must firmly keep in mind that your readiness to run your project and not let it run you. The work of the lower spheres must keep to the specifications of the spheres above. It is so easy because of the emotional and sensual it is so easy because of the emotional and sensual pressures to abandon the soundest principles and best laid plans. But you have to use your will and be the king of your realm. When you take control of your realm, get anything done. So, the earth is warming up and your animal spirit is absorbing the heat and therefore drying out. Your moderate fire is in activity. This is the most auspicious time to carry out tasks that require the vitality which nourishes the ability to raise truth above our emotional and sensual conditioning. It is the best time to impose your will upon your life force, as the reduction of your moisture has undermined your Offset and Heru faculties. Power breathing, aerobics, remedies for the cardiovascular system are in harmony with this point in your biorhythm. The bitter flavor will help your fire to rise and maintain itself. Sweets will dissipate your vitality and give power to water, which is considered emotion. So be mindful with sweets during this season. And in order to fully benefit from the insight into the cycles provided, it is imperative to go to bed around 10 p.m. and wake up just before sunrise. You must average about 8 hours of sleep and awaken naturally, not from alarms, when the life force Ra is fully regenerated. A study of the lives of the world's top executives showed that most of them observe pretty much this pattern of sleeping and awakening. You must also get a good breakfast after your morning meditation and aerobics. Your main meal should come around 2 p.m., which is when we're dealing with Mercury and Sebek, which Mercury rules over your small intestines and your digestive system. It is important to get your full quota of calories, which is Mayat, success, and it equals hot and moist, and as caloric sustenance, to preserve the equilibrium in your life force. And you must also avoid sleeping during the day unless you're ill, exercising after sunset, avoid concentrated sweets in the morning and bitters at night, avoid excessive fasting, excessive sexual activity, and be moderate in all things. This simple rule of living in harmony with the circadian and annual cycles of your body is the master key for success. The so-called lemnicet, or infinity symbol, above the head of the magician card of the tarot, is in reality two superimposed sine curves, which represents the flux of our cycles. The four magical weapons that the magician works with in this card are the four modes of the life force, which is, earth, wind, fire, water. Um, this is why the older and blah blah blah. This is an opinion. Um, yeah. So you're basically balancing, you know, the elements. And now we're gonna get into what the netters say about Cancer energy, Cancer season. And then we're gonna get into our planetary forecast. Alright. I did have the page mark and then I lost the bookmark. So during this season we're dealing with Offset. In the Canaanite walk of life, we're dealing with Gabrielle. In the Kabbalah is Yasad, and Yoruba is Yamaya, and in Hindu Kush is Dumavati. We're dealing with the ninth sphere. The ninth sphere deals with when I speak on spheres, I speak on the tree of life, which the netters go over and over in different walks, different ways. But sphere 9, it deals with self, what man thinks he is. The ninth sphere is a faculty that governs man's learning during the early part of life. As this sphere is a part of the lower divisions of man's spirit, it corresponds to his spiritual infancy. A person's learning, therefore, comes from the outside, from other people and creatures. All active learning involves imitation and following, and given the immaturity of his level of being, such imitation is indiscriminate. This applies to all educational experiences from cradle to postgraduate, from the streets to the academic halls, secular or spiritual. It is indiscriminate imitation that makes professional scientists swear by the scientific facts of their days that are later on proven to be no more than false theories. People's adherence to traditions and customs, whether they are secular, scientific, religious, cultural, etc., comes about in the same way. The danger inherent in this mode of learning is clear, yet it cannot be avoided. This sphere is also the seat of memory, which is essential to learning. There are two very important facts concerning memory that must be understood. One is the fact that nothing that has been experienced is ever forgotten. no matter how out of view or difficult to recall it may be. So be mindful of your interactions and your experiences with other people. The other is that many of our stored memories, especially those that are difficult to recall because of psychological suppression, exert powerful influences in shaping our beliefs and behavior. Given the fact that these types of memories, patterns for imitation, are stored in the infancy of our spirituality, they are illogical and irrational in their makeup. Contributing to this irrationality is a characteristic mode of functioning of this faculty. Not only does it store experiences, it associates them on the basis of external qualities. Unfortunately, external qualities which serve well for identity tagging purposes do not contribute too much to meaning. However, when we are trying to understand memory, throws, which is the nice sphere, throws up associated items linked through their external qualities. As a result, most people misunderstand more than they understand. We will later see the full implications of this concept when we deal with the fact that the majority of people who, due to the fact that faculty of self-identity, the first sphere is unevolved. And if you guys want to get into Metu Netter, I do have a book club. We read Metu Netter together. It was great. And it's also currently on YouTube if you're interested. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, y'all. So now, coming back, we deal with the moon. Monday, the color is sea blue. The number during this time is 7. And the gems we're dealing with during this time are pearls and moonstones. I have, the moonstone is a stone of inner growth and strength. It is a reflection of the owner. And the pearl reduces enzymes that produce melanin. And it also accelerates wound healing on the skin. And the ninth sphere deals with through the womb. The mother of all living things gathers physical elements and forces the 8 other manifestations to give rise to new. And the number 7 deals with solitude, religion, judgment, fortune, dreams, spirituality, perfection, and wisdom. That's fun. Offset is Isis, and this is the female productive forces of nature. It deals with the moon goddess and magic. Yesod from the Kabbalah, this is the bridge that connects God to mankind. This is the bond of love. Yamaya is the ocean mother goddess, feminine principle of creation, family healing, learns actions associated with one's emotions. As far as herbalism goes, to having your bath is spearmint, and it helps with digestive disorders, energy, and breathing. Lettuce, which helps with staying awake, appetite, and immune system boost, and it's a great antioxidant. Purslane, which is good for guarding against evil. As far as oil, spearmint, again coming with digestive disorders and energy and breathing, as well as jasmine. I don't think I have to. And incense is jasmine and spearmint. The spiritual direction during this time is the east, and the mundane direction is the northwest. The personality traits through its action on the kabit, which is the animal spirit, the cold and moist energy of the moon, has the following effects on the personality: caring, motherliness, conservative, benevolent, accommodating, sweet mannered, timorous, fearful, comfort loving, wants security and to be free from the cares and difficulties of life. The negative traits are indolent, daydreaming, uncaring, vacillating, neglectful, careless, impressionable, gullible, fearful, idle, hating work, discontented, inclined to intoxicants, living beggarly, and unsteadfast. Careers during this time: mother, wife, domestic life, hereditary factors, midwives, nurses, sailors, vagabonds, the masses, teachers of children, midwives, farmers, servants, menial employment, millers, dealers, and workers with liquids. Spiritual portfolio: devotion, humility, following, mediumistic trance, receptivity, and indiscriminate imitation. Key phrases during this time: cater to emotions, preferences, love of ease, negligence, carelessness, indolent, receptivity, impressionability, Gullibility, by following, by being humble, caring, nurturing, sympathetic, indulgent, compassionate, relaxed, peaceful through mediumistic trance. As far as biological correspondences, physiologically, the cold and moist energy of the moon is the basis of the well-being of the reproductive, digestive, assimilative, autonomous nervous systems. Pathologically speaking, infertility, menstrual problems, digestive issues, catarrh conditions, chlorosis, anemia, edema, and dropsy are issues during this time or should be rectified during this time. Um, Comedic therapeutics are alternative, diuretic, and nutrient. Chinese medicine, stomach system, digested. Spiritual keynotes following humility and caring. By devoting ourselves to realizing our true self, the indwelling intelligence, we come to realize that the true self in all beings is none other than the supreme being. Thus, we elevate our devotion to uplifting our character and the caring for others to the highest levels of spirituality. The ignorance of the divinity of the inner being constitutes our true self, and that of others degenerates our caring for ourselves and others into permissiveness, thus undermining our spiritual development. So that's it for Metunetter. And again, if you guys want to like tune in to Metunetter as far as our book club goes, you can definitely do that. Hi Drew, I don't know if you're still here, but I was just thinking about you the other day. I need to hit you up. It's been too long. You've been missing. Oh yeah, jasmine helps with liver and also helps with relaxation as a sedative. It's also an aphrodisiac and helps with cancer. So jasmine is good to have during this time if you have cancer. I did have notes for jasmine. So let's get into the planetary placements, y'all. How much time? So the sun is in Cancer in the 11th house. The sun is your ego, your outer self, your masculine energy, how you interact with masculine energy of other people and of yourself. Masculine energy does not always mean man. Sometimes it can mean just like how you execute things, how you express yourself, your external energy, just anything with the EX in front of it is usually that said energy. And we are putting this. That's all I have. Everything will be good. Sorry, guys. Whatever, forget it. Yeah. So the sun is in Cancer. So your outer self is trying to get in tune with your inner self. This is a great day of duality. This is why Cancer energy is associated with the number 2, because you have your masculine energy sitting in a feminine energy, zodiac energy. So this is a perfect time for my masculine beings to tap into your feminine energy. This is a perfect time for my feminine beings to tap into your masculine energy. It's time for a balance. If you're experiencing an imbalance at this time and space in your life, where you feel yourself way more concerned with outer things, material things, external things, expressing yourself, just being out on the outside, than you are with cleaning up your mess that's going on the inside of yourself, you need a balance. And vice versa. If you're more concerned with your emotions and you're always, inward to the point where you're not manifesting anything outward, then you are at a masculine imbalance. You need some more masculine energy. And that goes for everyone. It doesn't matter what your gender is or what you identify. I really don't care. This is all about spiritual energy. I say that because I have, people that respond to what I say, and they make themselves offended because being offended is a choice rather than, really accepting things for what it is. Facts are not your feelings, and they never will be. I love y'all though. The moon. Well, no, we'll get to the moon later. Oh yeah, we're in the 11th house. So the 11th house deals with like your humanitarian pursuits, how you're giving back to others, how you your progress and things like that. So a lot of us are making our progress. A lot of you guys, your success and your progress is going to come from you creating a balance. Whether you utilize your platform to make a balance, maybe you come with an awesome product about balancing, a service, like an event, whatever. It's going to come to you. Mercury has been in retrograde. Oh, come back to the sun. I'm everywhere. It's because I need to get a balance. So coming back to the sun is going into the 12th house on July 19th, and then the sun will be entering Leo energy on July 22nd. Now, coming back to Mercury. Mercury went into retrograde on May 4th. Mercury is in the retrograde ended on June 22nd. Mercury is also in Gemini in the 10th house, which it has been since May 9th. On July 7th, Mercury is going to enter Taurus energy, and then on July 11th, not Taurus energy, on July 7th, Mercury is entering into the 11th house, and then on July 11th, Mercury is entering into Cancer energy. So Mercury is like your decision-making mind, how you think, how you communicate, how you teach, how you learn, your logic, all that fun stuff. So initially, we had it sitting in Gemini energy. Gemini energy is all about duality, learning different points of view, just having multiple streams of knowledge and communication, and that, and that, and that. And that's why a lot of times a lot of us lack focus. If you're used to, especially my earth signs, if you're used to being like slow and steady and focused and having horse blinders on, it was very difficult time to focus with a retrograde Gemini energy that Mercury was just swimming in. And we had that in the 10th house. So to find a balance in that will bring you to the 10th house, which is the midheaven house, which is the house of success and achievements and aspirations and all those things. So if you were able to focus and find a balance, I'm pretty sure that you have some level of success with something. Whether it be in your business, at home, just like straight aha moments because you have already achieved that balance. But that's what that energy had wanted you to do. It wanted you to achieve a balance for success. Moving into the 11th house, which now we're coming back into our humanitarian pursuits and all those things like that. We still have our decision-making mind sitting in the Gemini energy, but now we're moving from success to how we're going to give back. How are we giving back to society? How are we giving back to people? We're also expanding our knowledge into other individuals we would have never spoken to in our personal, more secure circles. And then we go even further than that. As Mercury, our decision-making mind, goes from Gemini to Cancer energy. So we're going from being everywhere, out and about, to starting to come into focus of creating, thinking more in a nurturing sense, thinking of a more caring and feminine energy. And that will only happen if you get that Sun and Cancer energy balance. Then it'll, I don't want to say trickle down because trickle down effect is silly, but holistically wise, because all of this is interconnected. You having that feminine masculine balance with this Sun and Cancer energy is going to assist you with this Mercury and Cancer and 11th house energy as far as creating environments for people. Venus, we started off with Cancer in the 11th house on June 2nd. We moved into the 12th house on June 24th. Then Venus moved into Leo energy on June 27th. And then Venus will be moving into the first house on July 18th, and then into Virgo energy on July 21st. So Venus is your self-esteem. What does your self-esteem look like on you? What does it look like on you? What does it look like to you? How do you obtain this? How do you maintain it? Just what is self-esteem to you? What does it look like? Because we are earthlings, a lot of us, our self-esteem looks like wealth and love. So we have associated Venus with a lot of wealth, a lot of love, and things like that, because those are just the kind of beings we are. And when we have money and love in our lives, that's when we feel good about ourselves. So, but those are very specific details and a little too specific for those who don't value those things, but still have a Venus placement. You know what I mean? So we started off with Venus in this nurturing feminine energy. A lot of you guys have been feeling like creating nurturing spaces in the areas where you create wealth, or at least yearning for that. If you have been in a workspace that has not been nurturing to you, or nurturing to people around you, your body is you're mentally starting to yearn for that. You're yearning for that a lot more. Maybe the voices in your head are a lot louder than usual. Yeah, it's definitely this energy coming to the forefront. In addition to that, just creating more nurturing spaces. A lot of us are starting summer camps, summer schools, summer programs, retreats, etc., etc. We're creating nurturing spaces on the below end of things. And again, this is in the 11th house, which deals with our humanitarian pursuits, how we're giving back, and all those fun things. And then when we moved into the 12th house, now we're dealing with, again, coming into more energy as far as like giving back to others and creating a balance in the infrastructure, and just like that real like energy that goes towards like not rebellious, but like just creating like a creating new life. Um like dealing with like your dreams and your secrets and your emotions and all those things. So this is pretty cool that Venus is in Cancer in the 12th house. This is a nice combination of energies from the 24th to the 27th. That was an awesome time to definitely tap into yourself spiritually. Um, Journaling. Your dreams may have been more vivid. I personally had more vivid dreams during those few days, to the point where now dreams are starting to come back to me a little bit regular. Um, but yeah, so then we move Venus into Leo energy, and Leo energy is all about um yourself and being so centered, and the sun revolves around me, and being the forefront, but also being courageous, right? Tapping into your confidence. Yeah. It's a certain confidence that comes with Leo's no feeling entitled, that entitled energy. And that's something that we all need if we're going to lead certain things. A balance with that is definitely needed. And again, still sitting in this 12th house energy of just building and karmic relations and secrets and emotions and things of that nature. And then we go into the first house on July 18th. And the first house is our ascending self, our mass, the way we think that the world wants to see us, what we expect from the world, and what we think the world expects from us. And that's coming into our wealth. And so we go inward, we're building, we're getting confidence, and now we're coming out to the world with what we've built, and we're getting feedback. And then Venus will be going into Virgo on July 21st, which will be not coming back into ourselves, because now we're just like at a nice balance of inward outward type energy with whatever this project is that you're building. And now we're just organizing, we're paying attention to detail, we're going back to the drawing board and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And this is coming into your self-esteem matters, which is usually for us earthlings is wealth and love. Mars is like your ambition, your drive, your motivation, your anger, your energy, period. Just like what gets you going, what does it look like when you're going, how do you interact with other people when they're going. And Mars is in Leo in the 12th house, and it has been since June 11th. And again, Leo is that energy of self-centeredness, self-entitlement, kind of like the world revolves around me, so you should too. And when there's a good balance with that, it's an imperative energy to have, especially if you decide to be a leader or a speaker, because you're going to deal with opposing energies. For every energy, there's an equal opposite energy. So, you have to have a bit of this Leo energy about you if you're going to withstand that equal opposite energy to whatever it is that you're trying to build. And again, this is to the 12th house. Dreams are rampant during this time, right? This is still coming back to your house of governing all things beyond, all beyond, but it's still in the same energy of like giving, like it's still in that same like vibe. Because it's not like directly like giving and humanitarian type energy, but it's still along that vibe, but it's just more so dealing with, instead of your actions and energy and manifestation stuff, it's like your dreams and your secrets and your ambitions and goals, just like everything that goes on up here before you start doing things with this and being physical about it. You know what I mean? So you have your Mars energy in that. So if you guys have been dreaming up some things, if you guys have been daydreaming about some things, and it's been really fueling you, like putting a fire in you, is definitely something that you probably should take into consideration. It may very well be this Mars in Leo 12th house energy. I'll tell you one thing about me that's really been firing me up is performing. My heart feels good. I just feel really good about performing, and I really, really feel good about making new music. I want to make new music. I want to perform new songs, and that's something that I would like to say that maybe this Mars and Leo energy is definitely like putting up under me getting to like a nice comfort level with that. And you can make your emphasis how you will. Jupiter is in retrograde in Pisces in the seventh house. It has been in retrograde since May 14th. Again, like coming back to what we've been talking about, Jupiter usually stays in one zodiac energy for an entire year, but it decides to take a little jump somewhere. So now we're dealing with that, which is pretty interesting. Jupiter deals with your law, your traditions, your good luck, and your wisdom and things like that. Pisces energy is about duality. It's about partnership. It's about seeing things from both sides of the spectrum. It's about being adaptable to both ends of situations. And then if you are at an imbalance to Pisces energy, it also brings like an imbalance and a sense of gullibility and things like that. The seventh house, we are dealing with our Libra energy of creating balance and fairness, right? So you have this energy of luck and tradition and wisdom sitting in this dreamy energy of spirituality, and it's sitting in this house of balance. It calls for a nice balance in our traditions, bringing certain energies back into our traditions. Our luck will be rooted in us tapping into this Pisces energy of spirituality, of duality, of seeing things from different points of view, of being more intuitive. Our wisdom is coming from those areas as well, and applying a balance in those areas. Because a lot of us, and I'll include myself, when I initially started my spiritual journey, it was like, okay, everything just has to be spiritual. Like, no more physical, no more earth stuff, no more this, no more that. All this earth stuff was just a distraction to spirituality. And that's not entirely true. It's not entirely true. And while we are spiritual beings and we're beyond, these meat suits and this, that, and the third, we're here for a reason. We're in this space. Let's be present. Let's be present. You know, we're in a space for a reason. We're in these bodies for a reason. We have algorithms of cultural DNA, of historical DNA embedded in us, and we have to do the shadow work. We have to do all the work that we have to do in this space to prepare our spirits for the next. You know what I'm saying? So to completely negate what's going on a social level, economic level, justice level, whatever level, and then say, oh well, let's just do spirituality instead. That's very irresponsible, especially if you're a spiritual leader. It's very irresponsible. It's irresponsible to do that. And there's been thousands and thousands of philosophical debates on this, as far as people always focusing on the next life, and because you're focused on the next life and the life after and dying and stuff, you're not doing what you need to be doing or should be doing in this life to get things in order, to get your spirit in order, to get earth in order for the spirits to come, for when your spirit comes back, and so on and so forth. So it's very irresponsible to walk in that imagination, because that's solely what it is an imagination, to think that everything is spiritual and nothing else. If that was the case, we would have 10 spheres. We'd only have one. We'd only have one planet. We wouldn't have so many. If everything was like that, straightforward. But anyway, coming back to the planets. So let's move on to Saturn. So Saturn, we're in retrograde in Aquarius in the sixth house. So Saturn pretty much stays in the same zodiac energy for an entire year. Saturn entered Aquarius energy in December. We know Saturn and Jupiter were the closest they had ever been, about 1 degree apart the day before in the sixth house of Aquarius energy. Saturn's retrograde began May 23rd. So we have Saturn and Jupiter both in retrograde at this moment. Saturn is the energy of discipline. of restrictions, fears, structure. If like okay, so Saturn is like the rule book. Okay, if you have an imbalance at this rule book, you're scared of everything. You're restricting yourself from everything. There's a worry and a problem for everything. Um, it's just it's very restrictive. It's very, very restrictive. Kind of like that fear of martial law. Martial law is an imbalanced Capricorn energy. Martial law is an imbalanced Saturn energy. Okay? So we have that energy inside of Aquarius. Aquarius energy is like very rebellious, very social, just going against the grain, but for the better good, at least in my eyes. It depends on who you ask. And we're dealing with the sixth house, which is health, wellness, and daily routines. So we are with this energy of structure and law and just keeping things on the narrow, sitting in this rebellious, social rebellious energy. It makes so much sense as we have like these strict laws that are trying to govern over how we socialize and trying to manipulate our currencies, manipulate our spirits and our psychological well-being and things like that. You have these corporations and these governments, working hand in hand and they're doing these things. However, a lot of us are so fucking resilient, it's beautiful, that we are definitely tapped into this Aquarius energy that Saturn is sitting into, remaining social, remaining rebellious, still going against the grain, still doing things and applying it to our health, wellness, and daily routine. And that's how you make like the parallel as above to below. Uranus is in Taurus in the ninth house and has been since um March 5th, 2019, and will remain there until April 26th, 2026. And Uranus is like the energy of like progressiveness. It's like that shake that forces you out of your usual habits, which you have been doing. And Taurus energy is usually the energy that's like stubborn. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You can't tell me what to do. Da, da, da. And the ninth house deals with like adopting new philosophies, new mindsets, and things like that. So you have this progressive energy inside of our energy of like people self-pleasing. Taurus energy is like self-esteem. It's pleasure driven. It's like if you have an imbalance in Taurus energy, like if you have any imbalance in Venus or Taurus energy in your natal energy, you will be the kind of person that's always overindulging. Whatever your addiction is, because everybody has an addiction, you overindulge in that. You overindulge in all of your addictions and everything that you like to do. You kind of like to overindulge. You don't like to be told anything. You don't like to be told when you're overindulging. You like to make excuses for the effects of you overindulging, things like that. So Uranus is like, all right, you want to keep overindulging? I'm going to put some things in your path to make it so you have no choice but to stop. Like, okay, you want to keep eating these kind of foods? Now you got cancer. Now you got high blood pressure. Now you got diabetes. Now you got all these things. You want to keep indulging? All right, now you got this. Like that's that Uranus energy. Like it's like that tap on the hand. Like stop what you're doing. And it's sitting in this Taurus energy. So it's sitting in this Taurus energy. These are things that we've really, really, really been stubborn about. We've had to have been super stubborn holding on to these things in our life. Currency definitely being for one, as Taurus energy is definitely about wealth. Our idea of wealth and materialistic things is definitely changing. We have gone from paper money to now we need a card because there's no coins, whatever. But yet somehow we still have car washes and stuff like that. Anyway, so now we have a digital currency, and now we are doing gold and this, that, and the third, and that's going to keep changing and changing and changing because Uranus is going to be in this energy till 2026. And if you want to know what Spirit is telling me that we need to go back to how we were to like the beginning, because in the beginning, we weren't even bartering. Us Aboriginals, we weren't even bartering. We didn't have the mind to say, oh, okay, I gave you this, so you need to give me something back. Like that's not how we move. So, with the always I need a return to give and stuff like that, a lot of that holds us back. I don't know if you pay attention. Maybe you're one of those individuals that overindulges in that in your life. Like, I don't want to give unless I'm getting something back. I don't want to do this unless I'm getting something back. What am I getting back? What am I? That is also a Taurus energy of overindulging when it comes to wealth and self esteem and stuff like that. So, like, if you're one of those people, the Uranus is definitely going to make things difficult for you, love, because you're at an imbalance. This energy is sitting in that Libra house of balance and justice. Um, so not Libra, Sagittarius energy of new philosophies. My bad. I'm like looking at the wrong number. But Uranus is still gonna like cause like some upheaval in your life and make it difficult for you to maintain those material things. The Uranus is gonna make it difficult for you to keep it up. Is making it difficult for you to pay them bills. It's going to be difficult for you to have money to do the things you want to do. Why? Because you're still moving in this energy and still having certain like materialistic mindsets about things that Uranus wants you to shake. We're not supposed to be moving like this. A lot of the stuff that we're doing is holding us back from protecting ourselves, our future, our past, and our loved ones. And money is definitely a big one. If you can use money as an excuse to destroy the planet and keep it destroyed, you're fucking ridiculous. Kill yourself. That's my TED talk. I mean it from the soul of my heart. Like, it makes no sense. If you're using money as an excuse not to do right, you're ridiculous. This is ridiculous. If you're using money as a reason to stay a part of a corporation or organization that destroys, that's destructive because you get some benefits or you get a couple dollars or something, you're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. It's a big mind shift we have to make, but it's okay because Uranus is going to be in this energy for 5 more years. So, I mean, we can keep acting like we don't get it. Y'all can keep filling out these job applications. Y'all can keep going to that job and making excuses. You can keep letting me trigger you with my words. I don't care. At the end of the day, Uranus is going to keep pushing you till you realize that what we're doing is wrong and it's dumb. It's dumb as fuck. And so, moving on to Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces in the eighth house. Neptune has been in Pisces in the eighth house since February 4th, 2012. Neptune is that energy that goes beyond the five senses. It's about your dreams and your subconscious and how you think and your secrets and your mindset. And Pisces is essentially that same energy as that. Neptune and Pisces mirror one another. Neptune is ruled by Pisces. Pisces is associated with Neptune. And we have that in the house of transformation. And a lot of us see that happening. There's definitely a transformation in us spiritually, and it just keeps going and going as we start to get more and more precise on our spirituality. A lot of us were hijacking Indian culture, myself included, not knowing better. And then just like the more you learn and grow, the better you do. You start to, now you learn about African culture. Then you realize that we're all from Pangea. We're not all from Africa. It's a difference. It's centuries of difference. It's lots of centuries worth of difference. And a century is at least 3 to 4 generations. So yeah, it's enough generations there to for there to be a known difference. So then you get more precise in your spirituality and your own personal walk. Well, are you part of one of these native tribes on Turtle Island? Are you part of one of these native tribes in the Caribbean? Are you a part of one of these native tribes over there, on the other continent, on the other side? And all that matters is all specified, dialect and things like that. But we all are still interconnected. And still, we are not a melting pot, and we have to come out of that melting pot mentality, us or Aboriginals included. We are all one, but we have to come out of that, mentality that we all have to like look the same and be the same. Otherwise, we're no different than our oppressors. But yeah, that's what Neptune and Pisces is calling us to do anyway. Like, there's definitely a transformation happening here. And Neptune entered the eighth house on January 22nd, 2021. So that's when the transformation in this area started occurring. And Neptune is also in retrograde. This is the third energy we have in retrograde, and retrograde began June 25th. And then we go on to Pluto. Pluto is also in retrograde in Capricorn in the fifth house. So Pluto is the planet of transformation. It's the planet of rebirth, death, and just like, making things anew, right? And we have this in this Capricorn energy. And we went over the fact that Capricorn energy is all about authority and structure and law and just like that cement of life. So we have transformation occurring in that authority, right? I think we need to keep going. I don't think we need to get comfortable right now. I'm not really into mainstream news, so I can only speak so much. But I think that when we were initially angered, we were doing a lot. And then somehow, somewhere, we got comfortable and it got real quiet. I need the initial anger to come back. We shouldn't have to be catalyzed for it to come back. It should just stay here. Like, if we need to infiltrate certain systems to make things work for us, then that's what we need to do. Or at least that's what y'all want to do. That's what y'all want to do. Like, most generals had different armies for everything. Like, you had the army that, y'all want to be politicians and y'all want to infiltrate. Go ahead, be politician and infiltrate. Then we had, okay, y'all want to go out and fight. Well, y'all go fight while they over here infiltrating and making the laws right so that y'all can go fight. And, you guys over here, y'all want to own businesses. All right, run the businesses because us too, we going to need y'all to help sponsor us. We going to need y'all, y'all products and y'all services to help when we have events, when we do things. Um, our troops is going to need spaces. Okay, y'all want to do real estate? Okay, get these houses so our people got places to live. Y'all getting houses so y'all can flip them and keep making money and keep being fucking selfish. Like, y'all still not fucking getting it. Like, you're not fucking getting it. I don't understand, but it is what it is because Uranus is still in this energy, and it's all right because Pluto's still in this energy in the fifth house, and like that's just what's going to happen. um, the True Node. True Node is like the path of the moon. It talks about like what we need or what we have overdeveloped or underdeveloped traits that we need to get in balance. And right now is Gemini in the 10th house. That Gemini energy of just being everywhere and doing a little bit of everything and only scathing the tip of the iceberg and telling everybody what the whole iceberg look like. And that's what we have a tendency to do, including our professionals, especially our professionals. Our professionals cannot wait to go on social media or go on the news or television and tell people, oh, well, this is going on and we have this information and we can do this and we can do that and we can do this. And they're not paying attention to the effects. They're not giving us proper research. They're not doing proper data, this, that, and the third. And if you're able to differentiate, navigate through this kind of energy, if you're able to become quite balanced in this energy yourself, you are going to reach that 10th house, that midheaven house, of reaching achievements and your absolute, level of achievement, aspiration. The ascendant energy, which is your mask, which you wear for yourself, what you expect of the world, what you think the world expects of you, is in Aquarius in the 6th house. It moves into Capricorn 7th house June 22nd, and moved into Pisces energy June 25th, and then it moved into the 8th house on July 6th, and then it moves into Aries energy on July 13th. So the ascendant energy is constantly moving. We have a mask of rebellion, then we move into a mask of structure, then a mask of us feeling spiritual, dreamy, which happened on the 25th. Again, coming back to those 3 or 4 days between the 24th and the 27th of having vivid dreams and actually like writing those dreams down and things like that. And then we come into that fiery take charge energy in July. So something crazy might happen in July. Somebody might own this ascendant and Aries energy and do something, make an initiative to do some type of warlike energy or warlike movement, whether it be in their business, in their workforce, it could be the government, it could be it needs to be us, but whatever. Yeah. Midheaven, again is that energy of like coming to your full self. I'm sorry, I'm like twisted. And it's in that Sagittarius energy in the 4th house. Sagittarius energy is like the energy of like taking opportunities, adopting new philosophies and mindsets and things like that. And excuse me. Can you please put my shoe down? Scooby, put my shoe down. So the midheaven deals with Sagittarius energy, which is us getting our reaching our potential, reaching success by adopting new philosophies, by adopting new points of view, as well as traveling. Traveling is a good thing to do during this time. Then we go into the Scorpio energy, With our midheaven and Scorpio energy, we are dealing with transformation and becoming passionate, and we're also dealing with secrecy and some of that, like, spicy energy of the unknown, that mystic energy type deal. We're dealing with success in that, and then we move into the fifth house, which is the Leo house of confidence and romance, and tapping into our childlike energy. So definitely a good time to go back and do a little bit of shadow work, talk to your inner child, things like that, around the 8th of July. And then we move into the Capricorn energy, where we reach success in creating some type of, like, um structure for ourselves, right? Lilith is what triggers us, what turns us on, what just puts us in a whole different mind space, to where we're in a medium mystic trance because our emotions have been so, like, wildly invoked. And right now it's also in retrograde and Gemini in the 10th house. So, you know, a lot of you guys may be triggered by that Gemini energy of people only taking a piece of information and running off with it. And a lot of you guys are triggered because that is the energy that you exhibit. That is the energy that you give off. Maybe, you indulge in conversation, you only indulge in conversation to speak instead of to listen and absorb, things like that. But if you want to try to find a balance, definitely tap into this true node energy that's also in Gemini in the 10th house. And it'll help you do this shadow work with this Lilith in retrograde in Gemini in the 10th house. Chiron, which is our overall wellness, is in this taking initiative, warrior like energy of Aries, which is in the 8th house of transformation. So find yourself making transformations in that wellness area of your life. Ceres, which deals with health, nutrition, agriculture, and fertility, is sitting in that Taurus energy of material wealth, self esteem, and finances and love. And it's also sitting in that 9th house of energy of adopting new philosophies, right? And then we go into the 10th house on June 30th, which is dealing with, like, achievement, success, achieving your aspirations and things like that. So you definitely want to tap into this wealth and self-esteem energy when it comes to your agriculture, fertility, health, and nutrition. Excuse me. Palace deals with logic, reasoning, and intellect. And we have it sitting inside the spiritual energy of Pisces in the 8th house of transformation. So you definitely want to make a transformation in that area of your life for your logic and intellect. And I think that's just coming back to the balance of the sun and moon, the sun sitting in this moon driven energy of Cancer, of just having that balance of masculine and feminine energy would just really get you there. So now we're done with the planetary forecast. I want to get into the celestial events for the zodiac season, which is pretty fun. On June, no, I feel like I started before then. Oh, Juno. Sorry, I got two more energies left. Juno is talents in the arts, wisdom, and defense, and that is also in retrograde and Sagittarius energy, which is the energy of taking on new philosophies, traveling, learning, things like that. And we're dealing with the 4th house, which is all about that feminine energy, creating nurturing spaces and things like that. So that's also coming back into the energy of creating nurturing spaces, adopting new philosophies, coming into the spirituality. It just really seems like we're on a right a space and path. I know a lot of people are fighting it. Why is everybody being spiritual? Why everybody being that? Blah, 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 and making jokes about it, but it's all right because as above, so is below, and we are really, like, moving onto the path that the stars is leading for us. We are coming into the constellations, down here in our own way, where we are walking into spirituality. We are gaining a new sense of logic. We are, taking control. And yes, our previous generations are upset about that because they don't fully understand. To them, it's laziness and entitlement and this, that, and the third. But it's not laziness, because it's a lot of work that goes into doing what we do. Yes, it's entitlement. We are entitled to everything that we ask for. We are entitled to everything. This whole earth is ours. What do you mean? What are you talking about right now? That's that slave book that taught us how to be humble and show humility and be modest and be seen and not heard, or just don't be seen at all, and be in a corner and put your head down and yes sir and no sir and yes ma'am and no ma'am, and your boss is above you, your teacher is above you, your principal is above you, that police officer is above you, those politicians are above you, anybody with a science coat on is above you, anybody with a suit on is above you, like anybody holding a briefcase is above you, like we really, like, absorb that bullshit. No. I can have on fucking sweatpants with holes in it and a t-shirt and I'm still entitled to every fucking thing. What's on your brain? No, it's not what we finna do. So yeah, that's what this Juno and Sagittarius fourth house energy is really bringing to us because it's bringing that wisdom, and it's also teaching us how to defend the things that we are manifesting. If you look at historically, a lot of us lack the ability to actually defend the things that we were protecting. Someone made a note of the fact that the WIC program was actually initially developed by women for nutrition, and then went on to try to demonize Aboriginal men by saying, "Yeah, until the Aboriginal men came with their guns, they did what the fuck they were supposed to do. Women create the nurturing environment, men come and protect the nurturing environment." You understand what I'm saying? So when we have these women out here going to college, creating businesses, we got doulas over here, we got business owners over there. We have so many Aboriginal women-owned businesses going on right now. Yes, we do need our masculine energies to come up beside us with the guns, with the protection, with the barbed wires, because we have individuals that watch us to take. It's become so normal that now it's like a thing on TikTok where like our average Aboriginal women are boycotting videos on TikTok because of their videos are being stolen by non-Aboriginal celebrities and they're making money off of it. Where's the protection at? We go into their corporations, into their organizations, and we seek their protections. Like, oh yeah, we'll sign your terms of agreements. We'll sign your copyright papers. If your people didn't do the copyright sheet, it's not legit. If it's not your trademark company, it's not legit. If it's not your registration company, it's not legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we do that? Don't stop doing that. You're still a slave in your brain. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. No, we are entitled to everything that we say that we want. We go for it, and we team up with our complementary energies to protect and preserve it for our future generations. That's it. Everything else is extra. That's my TED talk. Vesta is your passion. Obviously, y'all see where my passion is. I'm ready for y'all to get the fuck up. But Vesta is in Virgo in the second house right now. Virgo energy is just all about being detailed or oriented. If there's an imbalance, it's a fussiness and a worriness that comes with you dealing with your passion. If you've been dealing with your passion during this time and you've been dealing with being over worried and things like that, you just want to bring that back into a balance. That's all. So now we're getting into the celestial events. Let's see where I'm at with time. Okay. So, celestial events. The Bootits activity begins, and Bootits are in the Boots constellation. Mercury is stationary before moving forward. Venus and Pollux are in conjunction. Pollux is actually the constellation in Gemini. The moon and the Shuba are in conjunction and minimal angle. The Shuba is actually the crown of the Scorpius constellation. Scorpius constellation is actually a really dangerous constellation. So when the moon is near any type of Scorpius or Gemini type energy, just be mindful. It's like a lot of death going on. Just a lot of craziness. The moon in Graphios is in conjunction in minimal anger, which is a cause of Scorpius. And there's the evening visibility of the Sagittarius constellation. June 23rd, the moon and Aries are in conjunction in minimal angle, which is the heart of Scorpius. And then the moon is the smallest distance from Earth in an on descending node. Mars and Persepi are in conjunction in minimal angle, and Persepi is in the Cancer constellation. On June 24th, we had a full moon, and the moon and Cos Borealis, which is the type of the Archer's boat in Sagittarius constellation, were in conjunction and minimal angle. June 25th, the moon was at max declination, and the moon in Albalda was in conjunction in minimal angle, which is part of the Sagittarius constellation. Neptune is stationary before retrograde. On June 26th, the moon and Pluto are at conjunction in minimal angle. On June 27th, the Bootits reach max activity. On same day, moon and Saturn are conjunction in minimal angle. The latest sunset of the year is 8:32 p.m. on June 27th. On June 28th, the moon in Deneb Algeti, which is the Saturn and Jupiter energy, but it's in the Capricorn constellation, they were in conjunction in minimal angle. Cause Borealis was also opposite of the sun, and there was an AM visibility of Mercury. What? On June 29th, the moon and Jupiter were at minimal angle in conjunction. The east side, the north side of the moon tipped into view. And we dealt with east librations, north librations, and east north librations, which made the moon appear a lot larger on the 29th. June 30th, Vega is opposite of the sun. The Vega is a part of the Lyra constellation, which deals with music. So the moon and Neptune are in conjunction and at minimal angle. On July 1st, which is today, we're dealing with the last quarter moon. July 2nd, Bootes reach end of activity. July 3rd, Venus and Persepi are in conjunction and minimal angle. And the Alpha Capricornus, which is a meteor shower from the Capricornus constellation, are active. And this is a pretty active meteor shower. It actually can come down in fireballs sometimes. July 4th, the moon and Uranus are at minimal angle in conjunction, and Mercury is visible in the morning. July 5th, Sagittarius is opposite of the sun, and the moon is furthest from Earth. July 6th, the moon and Pleiades are in conjunction and minimal angle. July 7th, the moon Aldebaran, which is the bullseye in the Taurus constellation. July 8th, Albalda is opposite of the sun, which is in the Sagittarius constellation. The moon and Mercury are at minimal angle in conjunction. The moon and Teja Posterior are in minimal angle conjunction. And that's a part of the Gemini constellation. And then July 9th, we're dealing with the new moon. July 10th, we're dealing with the moon and Castor at minimal angle, which is a part of the Gemini constellation. And then Moon and Pollux is at the minimal angle, and then in conjunction. So Castor and Pollux are the twins of the Gemini constellation. July 11th, the Moon and Persepi are at minimal angle and conjunction. Earth sign is visible on the Moon. The Moon and Mars are at minimal angle and conjunction, and the Moon and Venus are at minimal angle and conjunction. Because around July 10th and July 11th, the Venus and Mars are actually going to be really close to one another inside of that Leo energy, the Leo 12th house energy. So you might feel like a really like strong, first of all, like sex might be super crazy on that day. But a lot of great like business, just a lot of great energy, a lot of love energy. Like around the 10th and 11th is going to be really good days. I would, just be around like really good energy that you already like mesh well with, because a lot of great building is going to come out of that. July 12th, Delta Aquarius activity begins. Another meteor shower. Pluto is at its highest brightness. Mars is at its largest distance from the sun. The Venus and Mars are in conjunction. The Moon and Regulus are in minimal angle in conjunction, and Regulus is a part of the Leo constellation. And there's a PM visibility of Saturn. On July 13th, there's a morning visibility of the belt of Orion, and Venus and Mars are at minimal angle. July 14th, there's a evening visibility of the Capricornus constellation, and Pluto is the smallest distance from Earth. And then July 15th, Mercury and Teja Posterior are at minimal angle in conjunction. The activity of the Pisces Austrians begins, which is another meteor shower. So we have like 3 meteor showers. The Moon and Parima are in conjunction in minimal angle, and Parima is a part of the Virgo constellation. It's near the elbow. July 16th, the Moon and Spica are at minimal angle in conjunction. Spica is actually the brightest sun in Virgo. July 17th, the first quarter moon and the activity of the Perseus begin, which is another meteor shower. So this will be like our 4th meteor shower happening around the same time. And then Pluto will be opposite of the sun. On July 18th, Pallas is stationary before it goes into retrograde. Again, Pallas deals with our wisdom, our arts, and defense. And the Moon in Zubin El Janubi, which is located on the claws of the Scorpius constellation, are at minimal angle and conjunction. Remind you that when the Moon is near any type of Scorpius constellation, a lot of death and things are occurring. July 19th is the morning visibility of the Gemini constellation. The moon in Deshuba, which is the crown of the Scorpius constellation, are at minimal angle and conjunction. And then later on that day, the moon in Graphias, which is the claw, is at minimal angle and conjunction. And then July 20th, the moon in Aries is at minimal angle and conjunction, which is the heart of the Scorpius constellation. July 21st, there is a morning visibility of the moon, and the moon is actually the smallest distance to the Earth. And then we're dealing with Venus and Regulus at minimal angle and conjunction. And again, to remind you, Regulus is a main star in the Leo constellation. It just got real dark. My bad, y'all. Hold on a second. I can fix it. I got one more thing for y'all, and then we out of here. And then y'all can catch me in Philly. I'm about to be on my way to Soul Fed. I don't think I'm gonna perform today. As much as I would like to, I think I just want to sit down and make stuff. There we go. You can see me again. Yay. Okay, so now we're gonna go over the moon. Where are we at? We're at 120. Okay. Now we're gonna go over the moon placements. So June 20th, we had a waxing gibbous moon, which is the moon of endings, and we had it in Scorpio energy. June 23rd, still waxing gibbous in Sagittarius energy. June 24th, we had the full moon, which is the moon of celebration. You guys energized yourself under a Sagittarius moon, which is all about adopting new philosophies. June 25th, we were still in the full moon at Capricorn energy about, switching up authority. June 26th, we had the waning gibbous moon, which is the moon of retribution, and still in Capricorn energy, which is that law order energy, which is great that it happened in retribution energy. June 28th, we're still under the moon of retribution and Aquarius energy, so now we're coming through with the social rebellious energy. June 30th, we're still under the moon of retribution and that Pisces energy, bringing spirituality into the mix. Ashe. July 2nd, we're at the last quarter moon, which is the moon of transitions, and we're transitioning with that take an initiative Aries energy. So take initiative in some transitions tomorrow, y'all. July 4th, we're in Waning Crescent, which is the moon of cleansing, and we're dealing with that in the Taurus energy. It's time to cleanse what we have been holding so near and dear to our hearts, what we have been being stubborn about, what we have been overindulging in, and all those things. July 6th, we're still in the moon of cleansing, but we're cleansing some of that Gemini energy, all that doing too much too soon and overstraining yourself and pulling and pushing yourself and only touching the surface of information and declaring yourself a guru and all that fun stuff and talking to respond instead of listening. We're going to cleanse all that shit. And then on July 8th, we're still under the moon of cleansing in that Cancer energy as we tap into our feminine energy, and the moon comes close to the sun, which is also sitting in that Cancer energy, and so on and so forth. July 9th, we're dealing with the new moon, which is the moon of rest. Get your rest up on the 9th, which is sitting under that Leo energy of getting fired up. Because remind you, right after July 9th, we're dealing with from July 10th to the 13th, we're dealing with the closeness of Venus and Mars sitting in that Leo and 12th house, getting you guys all fired up and motivated. July 10th, we're still sitting in that moon of rest in Leo. July 11th, we are now at a waxing crescent. July 11th, we're now at a waxing crescent, moon of regeneration of Virgo energy. So now we're coming to pay attention to details as we regenerate ourselves and get ready for this Leo energy of Venus and Mars. July 13th, we're still in the moon of regeneration, but now we're bringing balance and justice with that Libra energy. July 15th, we're still in that Libra energy. July 15th, we're dealing with the first quarter moon, which is the moon of caution, being careful, and still bringing that balance energy of Libra and justice energy. July 17th, we are now into the waxing gibbous moon of Scorpio energy. Very excited about this Scorpio energy, and this is the moon of endings. We're bringing the moon of endings into that transformation energy. July 20th, we are still in that waxing gibbous energy with that Sagittarius energy of adopting new philosophies, mindsets, and things of that nature. I thank you guys so much for sitting with me through this planetary forecast. This was very fun, very enlightening. If you guys want to tap into all my previous ones, they're all located on YouTube or IGTV, or you can catch me on Facebook under Sunshine Monet. Um, I really do love learning about what I learn about. The more that I learn and grow, the more that I'm able to share with you guys so we can get more in tune with the planets and the planetary happenings. And I am starting to tap out of some of that Gemini energy. As you guys know, my Mars is in Gemini in the 10th house, so I'm always balancing and juggling. Coming out into that energy and trying to find a better balance because I want to put forth more energy in certain things. A lot of things that I want to give back to you guys with. So that's all I have for you. If you missed this video, I'm so sorry. You can catch me on IGTV as well as YouTube. I love you guys and take care. You guys can find me at Soul Fed Tonight, which is 1717 North Hancock. We out there, and it's going to be a great day.